One of the themes that I loved about the first movie, and that we continue here with the second film, is brotherhood, and the flashbacks obviously to the kids, which were so brilliant in the first movie, and then the realization, by the end of the movie of that we're dealing with two brothers, and I think this movie takes that and just notches it up another level. Ray King, 7 years later, is kind of a hybrid between the Ray King we thought we knew for most of the first movie, the sort of alpha male, hard-ass guy, and then we see that he was actually this schlub, lousy cop, fat, out of shape piece of garbage that encounters Christian, the first time. So the reality of who he is, I think, and Bill and Gavin and I talked about this off and on over the years, was, there's reality to both of those. He's somewhere in between. So now we see him essentially retired, he walks away. Marybeth is now going to be, he left her in charge of answering the phone, if the call comes from the accountant, and spending a lot of time with his kids and his grandkids, and put out a private investigator shingle because once in a while there's a case that is meaningful to him. And again, we go back to that theme of family. The reason Ray King is even involved in this case is because Emmy's story, really tugged at his heartstrings about he wants to see his daughter, he wants to see his grandson, and that's what motivates Ray to pursue this particular case even more doggedly than he often does. This time around, I get to have a little fun, a little play fighting, a little pretend fighting stuff, mayhem. Um, Ray is kind of in a box and has to try and fight his way out. So it's not just Ben and Jon and the stunt guys that get to have fun this time. I'm involved as well. All of Gavin's work I've been a fan of, and when they first approached me about doing the accountant, I watched Warrior, and thought, even at the times when as an audience I feel like I might know what's coming, he still had us as an audience so invested and involved in these two brothers. Again, the theme of brotherhood. Um, and everything I've seen since then, the way back recently, um, there's just a heart. There's a great combination, actually, of sort of heart and just a masculinity that is often sort of a defense mechanism, which is a reality in old school men, and something that I relate to and really appreciate. The whole neurodivergent aspect of the character and of the story of the first movie was a big part of what drew me to it, and the great lines like don't think of them as less than, think of them as other, and I know that Gavin and Bill, when they were researching all of this, and were concerned about, is this going to be remotely believable, I mean, they met a kid who was like a champion wrestler, like legitimate, high school wrestler, like a very powerful, and that was, where he was able to use his focus and his skills, and most of us by this time, in my case, through kids, through our kids, we know people who are on the spectrum and neurodivergent in different ways, and helping to create a space for them in the world. And again, it becomes, it's such a great escalation of that in the sequel as we once again revisit the Academy and see how that ties into the story is brilliant. I think audiences are going to have another one of those edge of the seat kind of experiences with this movie, which is both due to the physical action and the brilliant, like really real fight sequences, but more importantly, the emotional edge of the seat as we ride this relationship, primarily the relationship between Christian and Braxton.
Just trying to find my way.